Hi, it's Regina from The Balanced Bite. Tonight I wanted to share with you guys my favorite Christmas cookie recipe. I use this every year. It's from Taste of Home, and I will go ahead and link her site on the description of this website, but they come out perfect every time. And then I also tried a new icing recipe, and I'll share that with you a little bit later. But in general, these turned out really well, and I was really happy with how they tasted and how they looked. So I hope you guys will like them as well. And with that said, let's go ahead and get into the recipe. First, we'll take 3 cups of flour and we'll sift it until the flour is smooth. Now add 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and also 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and combine those really well and set the bowl aside. You're going to add your butter, so it's 1 cup of butter, which is 2 sticks, and put the mixer on high for 3 minutes. After your butter's whipped really good, then go ahead and put your sugar in, which is 1 1/3 cup. And again, you'll mix it on high for 3 minutes. Now in a separate bowl, crack 2 eggs and then mix those together. You know, I do this because I don't want to have a bad egg in my batter after all the work we've done. So go ahead and mix those together, make sure they're good, and stir them really well. Then add your eggs one at a time and then mix it, and then put the second egg in after that, just until combined. Then add a teaspoon of vanilla, now we're going to add the flour. You just want to add a little bit every time and keep it on to begin with a medium-low, because the flour will literally go all over your kitchen and that's no fun. So little by little, and keep it on low. We just want to combine the sugar mixture and the flour mixture at this point. Now that you've got all your mixture combined, all the flour and everything, we'll go ahead and roll this out onto the table. Give yourself a lot of space, and then throw a little flour on there, because we're going to make a like a little ball. Big ball, actually. Not a big ball, but somewhere in between. And it should be kind of scraggly dough like this, just so that it's combined everything, and once we get it rolled out, you're going to see how nice it looks. Okay, now get your hands in there, and we're going to combine all of this flour and goodness together and form a ball. This should almost be like the consistency of Play-Doh at this point. Cut your dough in half, and it should look like this in the middle. Very solid looking. Then take your plastic wrap, and we're just going to wrap these up and put them in the refrigerator for a minimum of an hour, but it would be better for the butter if it would set overnight. And if you do decide to leave the dough in the refrigerator overnight, when you take it out the next day, leave it out at room temperature for about an hour before you're able to manipulate the dough. Now it's the next day, so we're going to go ahead and roll our dough out. Use some flour on a kitchen table or a cutting board. And again, I cut it in half again. And this is still it's still a little hard. You're gonna have to use your hands for some heat to get it, pliable and, a nice thinner consistency. So yeah, just use your hand and then take a rolling pin and kind of just slowly and patiently, keep rolling back and forth. And then use your hand again and just keep rolling it out until it becomes about half an inch thick. Take your cookie cutters and just cut out your dough. And it should come out easily at this point. And this dough recipe makes 32 cookies. Now you're going to want to set your oven at 350 and bake these for 9 minutes. So go ahead and cut out your Christmas trees now. I really love this dough. It's from a website called justataste.com. I found it actually on Pinterest, and I've been using it for 3 years now, and it is really, really good. Very thick, very reliable, great taste. But just make sure not to overcook them. About 9 minutes is all it really takes for these at 350 for these cookies. And if you want to add to the batter orange zest or lemon extract, or even if you want to do like peppermint extract, but very, very little peppermint, that would be really good in the cookie batter as well. So go ahead and cook these again, or bake these, in the oven for 9 minutes. Now we're going to make our frosting. This is not royal icing. This is kind of this is in between. Well, it's not buttercream. It's a little thicker than your mom's. That's what I call it, your mom's frosting. What we have here is 3 cups of sifted powdered sugar, and we're going to add 2 tablespoons of milk to begin with and kind of combine that. And if that works for you, which I think you need the whole 4 tablespoons in my opinion, then you can stop. And then in between putting more milk in, you have corn syrup here. This helps to make it set and make it thick, as well as make it shiny. So this is definitely something that I would add if I were you. If you don't like corn syrup, you could add a little bit more milk, but it's not going to set as well. It might be a little bit more runny and not quite as shiny. So I would use the corn syrup. Add that, and then you're going to add your vanilla. And I just ended up using the whole, like I said, 4 tablespoons. And you can see how it comes together. And can you see already the shine in there from the corn syrup? It is great. I don't like royal icing. I think it tastes terrible. And so to find this recipe really made me happy. I'll go ahead and put the author's name in the description as well. But yeah, this was pretty good. If it gets too runny, you can always add a little bit more powdered sugar to the mix. I like the consistency just like this. It was a tad bit runny, I guess. And I'll show you why in a few minutes here. But I mean, generally it was a very good recipe. You could just put in like the clear vanilla, but that's a little pricey. I don't mind. I use just regular vanilla. And let's see the color. I think the color's fine. It's a little beigey, but it's not. To me, it still looks white, so I don't mind using regular good old imitation vanilla. I wish I could afford the real stuff, but it's pretty pricey. So yeah, give that a stir. And you can see the shine in this already. I want to show you in a minute here the consistency. So you'll know, look at that. It just, like, when you put it on your spoon, it barely moves. And you get little ribbons in the batter. Okay, so now that we've got our consistency right, let's go ahead and put this in another container, a glass container, And we're gonna put dye in here for the trees. Put the green dye. Dye to a piping bag if you want it a little bit more precise. And here's a good way to do it. Take a glass, just a regular drinking glass, and put your piping bag down the side here and kind of smooth that out. And it's a lot easier to get your icing into the piping bag. So yeah, go ahead and do that, and then put the icing directly into the bag. And then just pour it. And then once you get to the bottom, you know, once it's all emptied out, just kind of squeeze the bag until all the icing is at the part where the tip is. So let's decorate the trees now. So you're going to take your green icing and you're going to outline the tree. Now I want to show you guys, because this is the first time I've used this icing. It did work pretty good. It just was a little bit runny. So you might want to experiment and put maybe a half a tablespoon of powdered sugar back in there so it doesn't, you know, come out the tip so strong. It was just like a lava flow. It was a lot, and just a tad bit runny. So, but I just, you know, I just deal with it, just kind of make it happen. So there we go. Isn't it looking pretty? Nice and festive. Now with the stars, I just used the white. I didn't put any food coloring in here at all. I think they're pretty white. And so I'm doing the exact same thing I did on the trees. I'm just outlining around the edges. And then I think, you know what, I don't know if the problem was earlier the bag, because the bag, the tip on it was pretty big. So maybe that was a problem, because this seems to be coming out better. So yeah, just outline them, and then you're going to kind of like zigzag in the middle, so you have some icing in there, but not too much, just a little bit. I decided I want some sprinkles on my stars, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply those now to the little stars here. You know, I looked everywhere for the sugar, the red sugar and the green sugar, and I could not find them. I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I looked for just regular, not these, I think these called parallels or something like that. My husband found them at the grocery store where he works, and they're a little, I don't know, they're a little, like, the color is almost like a birthday color, I guess. It's fine, but I couldn't find sprinkles. I couldn't find any like extra ornamentation anywhere. So I guess they're sold out. You could get things, but they had to be shipped, and it would be after Christmas before you got them. So are you guys experiencing that where you live? I don't know, maybe I'm in Iowa, so maybe it's just an Iowa thing. Usually we have it like the minute before Christmas. So anyway, we got them, and I think they look pretty, and this is what I'm doing. I'm just kind of putting them in there and then patting them in to the frosting so they stay put. Now with this icing, you're going to want to let this set after you've decorated your cookies for at least 30 minutes. And then they're really, you know, good to go after that. So yeah, about 30 minutes, and then you can stack them. The glitter, or what do you want to call this? The parallels, I think that's what they're called, will stay on pretty good as well. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this new icing. I'm definitely going to be using it from now on, and I hope you guys will too. So here's our beautiful assortment of sugar cookies. We have our snowflake with some razzle dazzle, and our Christmas tree with some white garland on there. They're just simple, pretty, cute little trees, and I really like the way they turned out. I hope you guys will follow these recipe, and if you'd like to see more of the Balanced Bite, please subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for some hors d'oeuvres. See you then, guys. Bye.